sins, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Of the September 13th meeting has been distributed. Any motion for approval? Jeremy and Mike Malone. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes for the special meeting of September 30th have been distributed. Need a motion for approval. Jeremy and Mike Chura. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. The minutes of the October 1st special meeting have been distributed. Jeremy makes the motion to approve. Mike Chura seconds the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Then the minutes of the special meeting of October 4th have been distributed. Jeremy makes the motion to approve the minutes. Mike Chura seconds the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, treasurer's report. Bill Boyer.
Okay, look, codes, single sheet. Front page got the assets, liabilities, and the bottom are tonight's vouchers that you all know. For codes, there's 2 vouchers. And flipping it over, list the checking account, and the bottom the savings account. Not much to be changed.
Motion to approve. Votes. Jeremy, second by Mike Malone. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We don't usually do that separately, but it is now.
It's okay, change up. Okay, this next one is the district report. That's very thick.
Oh, what?
That's it, report's over. Back on. Okay. Front page, top of the page, the current assets. Bottom, liabilities. Page 2 and 3 is the previous year comparison. I think I switched that up with the budget. 4 and 5 is the one you're interested in, the actual budget. And I want to point out on page 4, there were 2 items, one under the chief's budget that show over budget, like 305% for radios, and that's because I transferred after the date the money for the radios. That came out of reserve, so it was not over. The next month's report will show that. And down below, there's a hydrant rental, we're over 183%, and that was a clerical error on my part. That's been corrected for the next year's budget. But then, just in case you see that, those are all better. Page 6, 7, and 8 are the bank account pages as of September 30th. Since that time, we've paid a payment for the new truck of $262,489 came out of the reserve for that apparatus. So it doesn't show on tonight's paper because that went to September 30th, and the payment came after that. We also received 2 insurance recoveries checks, one for $11,083 and the other for $22,416, and they've been deposited to the
What was the second one?
$22,416, and they've been deposited into the reserve account for these fire vehicles. All right, then page 9 for the referendums. We have 4 of them outstanding. The top one, under fire vehicles, we have 60,000. We have the cost of the vehicle at 35,103, but we don't have the vehicle yet. So, but I did put that there and subtract it because we only have 24,000 left you can spend out of there. 35 is committed for the vehicle. And then we have the new one we put in 2 months ago for 850,000 for the new rescue pumper. 90,000 for the radios, and there's that 10,959 that got transferred into the chief's budget. And the last one is still the Station 2 roof repair, parking lot repair, 175,000. And those pigtails I see, or what do you call them, hose extensions are in. Oh, yep. And page 10, the bonds, no change from last month. December is our next principal and interest payment. And then we get to the service awards. And we lost 50,000 for last month. Our balance is 801,181. And 12, 13, and 14 is tonight's vouchers. Now, when you see the total there, 298,485 total vouchers. Remember that 262,498 is the payment towards the truck. We don't really have that much vouchers. Business that we did for the last month. We didn't do $298,000 worth of business. Okay, let's see what else I got here. And just a note, I guess, the last one is that this November 4th payroll will be the last payroll that's done through QuickBooks. After that, we've contracted with a Paycheck. So they'll be doing from November 4th on, the payroll will be done through Paychecks. Just to let you know. If there's any mistakes, it won't be my fault. That's it.
Any questions for treasurer? Well, entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report as presented. Jeremy? Mike Chera, seconds. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Entertain a motion to pay the vouchers as presented and audited. Jeremy makes the motion. Chair seconds the motion. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Correspondence, Amy.
we received a request from the fire department, the submission of the bylaws changes for review and approval.
And I think that's on the agenda.
Yes.
Chief's report.
Right, so the new portable radios for truck two have put in service. We still don't have the vehicle chargers, but we were able to use the base chargers that came with them for now until we do get those. The rest of the radios, they're making 30 arrive, they're United Radio being programmed. The chargers and mics did just come in, so once we get those radios back, we just have to label and inventory them and those will go in service. The 6-foot hose jumpers for both engines, the lighter and the truck arrived. We just have to get those inventory before they go in service. And I think they plan on doing that Thursday.
Can you speak up a little more, man?
The 2 Knox key secure systems have arrived for truck 2 and ladder 1. We were waiting on a key for ladder 1, but that just came in. I put it in tonight, so that's all set. Truck 2 is installed and has the key. Both appear to be working as they should. The punch list for truck 2 is almost done. Again, there's just a few minor things that we're waiting on some parts and stuff for, but for the most part, everything major is complete, which is good because it's right about the year mark. We got that truck. The new apparatus, as you heard tonight, we paid for part of the new rescue pumper. So moving forward, we're going to look at the replacement relocation plan and what that's going to look like in the future. We've had several special events lately. Thanks for all the members that helped out with those. The next ones we have coming up is fire prevention for codes at Palmer. We have a crew for ladder 1 that's going to take care of that. The Cradle Lights is happening this year, and we are going to participate. More likely what we're going to do is like we've done in the past. One piece of apparatus from station 1 will be in the parade. Station 2 will be standing by at the station should we get any calls. We did that last year and it seemed to work out pretty well. Actually, when we put trucks in service that night, we were standing by. I think the only other thing we were just talking about too is the Santa run. So we'll get that, everything for that squared away. Decide what apparatus we're going to use and go from there. No change in the current COVID policy. Just keep in mind that it's a fluid policy. It can be changed at a moment's notice. The EPCRs have been looking really good. I just went on there this morning, had 5 in there, no errors on any of them. Those are all good to go. I always encourage our members to put either a duty crew or set up a engine 91 date. And we have some members that are putting the squad 91 in service soon. They're working through that. We're going to figure out how we get the squad logged on as a squad 91. I know the engine's easy to do, but we'll get that figured out. Always, we remind members to use brakes so we know who's coming to the call. If we can wait a couple extra seconds for a few more people, that's how we know we have more people coming. Other than that, thank you for your continued support.
Any questions for Chief Speech? Chief Massaro.
Okay, just a few things to add. The last planning board meeting was last Thursday, the 13th. I was unfortunately not able to attend, but the agenda did come out late, and there were a few items I'll be following up on. There's usual plat signings and things like that, not too concerned with that. But the Hicks Road, Warren Abbott, minor subdivision, it's right over here in the Gloria, but it's just 2 residences. He's dividing 29 acres, but into 2 different lots. So all of this, of course, after the announcement from Micron, so it's going to be interesting going forward. Also, saying Warren Abbott on North Hayes Road, it looks to be 3 lots, and the address is 7484, but for those that are familiar, it's right on the curve. So that would actually be very close to the line with Seneca River. So I gotta take a look at it, but the map looks like it's half in ours, half in theirs. Again, 3 lots. I'm trying to decipher it, but I'll be following up on that. It did not have at the corner, which was the big one of years back. I didn't see any activity on that. This is, again, looks to be 3 residences a little further down. And then 8276 to 8280 Willow Parkway, which is the old physicians complex there. They have it as phase 1 improvements, site plan development. So I have no idea what that means, if they're just going to renovate some of those offices to maybe repurpose them. Yeah, we'll
I know
follow.
the one building was for sale, and there was a sale pending, so.
Okay, so maybe it's somebody's gonna, open it up. So again, I'll follow up with the town on that. That's it for me.
Oh, any questions for Chief Massaro? Chief Corcoran is not here. Does anyone have a report from him?
I did not receive anything
He was out of town.
from him. Yeah, sorry.
His daughter got married.
So I think everybody knows the training. I did, give me a second, I believe I snapped a picture of the training that he had planned. Where it was, okay, October 6th, business meeting, 13th, the Rana plant tour, that already happened. This coming Thursday was supposed to be CO emergencies, that's been repurposed to a kind of a work detail to get the new jumpers and stuff, and anything else that captains need. And then the 27th is ropes and knots. And that covers them.
Okay, thank you. All set for the chiefs, everybody? Committee reports, building and facilities. We have some action going on there. Michael, do you have anything for us there?
Talked with Jerry, and all of the equipment that's broken at 1 and 2 is in the midst of parts being ordered, and as soon as they have the, have the parts on, as soon as they get the labor squared away, they'll get the air conditioning fixed at Station 2, which is badly needed at this point. And the heating system, they've got the parts, they just have to get the man up, and the furnace at headquarters, we've got to bid out for that as soon as they get the manpower and get those.
So is that the furnace?
The 2 furnaces, yeah. So Jerry's on top of it, as soon as they get the manpower, we'll be in touch with Jerry and we'll get it taken care of.
Scheduled for the 26th, which is next week, so
Oh,
it's pretty soon. See what happens.
okay, thank you. New truck committee, sure.
As the chief mentioned, we finished the specs and signed a contract with Spartan about a week and a half ago. We'll probably do our first pre-build in about 4 weeks from now. So, a lot of good work by everybody involved on the committee.
What kind of delivery time?
I think the last estimate was like 440 days. Anybody that's been in this business long enough, it used to be 160, 180, so about 440, somewhere around there.
Okay.
That's
Well,
it for the
thank
new
the
truck.
truck committee for all their hard work. And you and Chief Speech keeping your nose to the grindstone on that. We think that, what did you say there was gonna be a 6% increase?
7% increase for the same vehicle if we delayed another maybe 10 days. By fluke, we signed it at the right time and saved a good chunk of money. But everybody's going up. Another competitor, about 2 months ago, they raised their prices 30%. Different market out there for the fire apparatus, I don't know what they're gonna do. Because their price increases, departments can't afford them. Or not as often, because that thought of every 20 years, turn it around and get rid of it. They're seriously looking at 25, probably 30 now. Because you lose 30 years when you start to bid it, or when you start to spec it. Hopefully it evens out, but ours is ordered and hopefully it doesn't happen like some of the cars that are out there. We'll get it in 440 days and everything's good.
Okay, Life Center Public Safety, the next meeting is November 15th at GBAC at 7 p.m. We have held two fire prevention programs, one at Van Buren and one at Reynolds, which went pretty well, and we have, as mentioned earlier, October 25th, a Tuesday, at Palmer, and we've got a pretty good contingency from Belgium signed up for that at this point. Budget and finance, okay. We do note that Amy was able to submit the 2% tax cap calculation on the New York State Comptroller's website after our public hearing. We had the public hearing, Amy did the calculation, and it was acknowledged as received by the State Comptroller. So, we need next to consider a resolution to override the real property tax cap for the 2023 budget. So, this is interesting. Whereas, the Board of Fire Commissioners of the Belgian Cold Springs Fire District must adopt a proposed budget for 2023, an estimate of fund balances in preparation for the annual fire district budget hearing, and did so in preparation for the budget hearing. And whereas the Board of Fire Commissioners of the Belgian Cold Springs Fire District held the annual fire district budget hearing on notice to the public on October 17. Whereas the board has considered the proposed budget and comments received on the proposed budget on October 17 at said budget hearing, and whereas the board has determined that the financial needs of the fire district and fire department for fiscal year 2023 cannot be supported by a budget that would comply with the real property tax cap established pursuant to Section 3C of the General Municipal Law, as the proposed budget for 2023 calls for a real property tax levy that will exceed the real property tax cap permitted only a 2% increase in said tax levy. And whereas Section 3C of the General Municipal Law provides as follows: a local government may adopt a budget that requires a tax levy that is greater than the tax levy limit for the coming fiscal year, not including any levy necessary to support the expenditures pursuant to paragraphs I and IB. So I don't know whether that means 1 and 4, but I and IB. Paragraph G of subdivision 2 of this section only if the governing body of such government first enacts by vote of 60% of the total voting power of such body a local law to override such limit for such coming fiscal year only, or in this case of a district or fire district, a resolution approved by a vote of 60% of the total voting power of such body to override such limit for the coming fiscal year only. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Fire Commissioners hereby approves the determination to override the real property tax cap for the 2023 budget only in order to permit an annual real property tax levy that will exceed the real property tax cap, permitting only a 2% increase in said tax levy, and result in a final annual fire district budget in the amount of $1,909,683. And the adoption of the foregoing resolution was duly put to a vote, and upon roll call, the vote was as follows. So, I will make the resolution, as I just read. We need a second. Mike Jura seconds. So, all in favor, and I'll poll the board because the resolution calls for that. Chairperson, I vote yes. Jeremy Patterson?
Yes.
Diane Rapkus is absent. Mike Malone?
Yes.
Mike Chura?
Yes.
The resolution was therefore thereupon duly declared to have been adopted. Okay, and so we made the motion, we voted on it, it's done. So the next thing is to approve the budget. Now that we have overridden the tax cap, the next step is to approve the budget. So I would entertain a motion, and here's another whereas. Whereas the Board of Fire Commissioners of the Belgium Cold Springs Fire District must adopt a proposed budget for 2023, an estimate of fund balances in preparation for the annual fire district budget hearing, and did so in preparation for the budget hearing. And whereas the Board of Fire Commissioners of the Belgium Cold Springs Fire District held an annual fire district budget hearing on notice to the public on October 17, 2022, and whereas the board has considered the proposed budget and comments received on the proposed budget on October 17 at such budget hearing, and whereas the board has determined that the financial needs of the fire district and fire department for fiscal year 2023 cannot be supported by a budget that would comply with the real property tax cap established pursuant to Section 3C of the General Municipal Law, as the proposed budget for 2023 calls for a real property tax levy that will exceed the real property tax cap, permitting only a 2% increase in said tax levy. And whereas Section 3C of the General Municipal Law provides as follows. A local government may adopt a budget that requires a tax levy that is greater than the tax levy limit for the coming fiscal year, not including any levy necessary to support the expenditures pursuant to subparagraphs I and IB, or through IB. Paragraph G of subdivision 2 of this section, only if the governing body of such local government first enacts by a vote of 60% of the total voting power of such body a local law to override such limit for such coming fiscal year only, or in the case of a fire district or fire district, a resolution approved by a vote of 60% of the total voting power of such body to override such limit for such coming fiscal year only. Whereas previously at this meeting, the Board of Fire Commissioners passed a resolution to override the real property tax cap for the 2023 budget. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Fire Commissioners hereby approves the final budget for the Belgium Coastal Fire District for 2023 attached here to and made part hereof in the amount of $1,909,683. So, who wants to make that resolution? Jerry will make the resolution. Mike Sherrill will second. Roll call. Myself, yes. Jeremy?
Yes.
Diane is absent. Mike Malone?
Yes.
Mike Chura?
Yes.
Okay, the resolution is thereupon duly declared to have been adopted. Wow. Okay, we're through that. IT committee.
New station boards have been installed. We have a couple open items that we're working through, getting Google Sheets up and running, but hopefully soon those will be up and running. Amy will be able to make edits and changes to that soon. And the other thing I want to talk about is the social media committee. About a year ago, we formed the social media committee to hopefully help the communication between the district and the department. That has not come to fruition. It has done quite the opposite. So I am dissolving the social media committee effective tonight, and we're going back to sending all correspondence to the district secretary until we can figure out something new. So that is it for the IT.
Personnel. Nope. Mike Chura has them.
As most people know, we had advertised for a position within the district. To keep everybody informed, we had numerous applicants for a position. So effective November 1st, we will be hiring Jeffrey Root as a part-time caretaker, with the possibility of him transitioning into the paid chief's position in January. All of this is pending the required approvals from outside agencies. While waiting for the approvals, he will be using this time to become familiar with Belgium Cold Springs Fire Department by working with Chief Speech, the fire commissioners, and Jerry Tanner. If you see him around, please introduce yourself and welcome him. The Board of Fire Commissioners would appreciate your patience and cooperation, as this is a new process and experience for all of us. In addition, we have contracted with Brian Felice to oversee the district's EMS program. His involvement will include, but not limited to, records management, training including classrooms, practicals, scenario-based instruction. And he will report directly to the fire chief. If you see him, please welcome him also.
Okay.
That's it.
Caretaker leader, Jerry has submitted his report. I haven't had a chance to go over it yet.
Just lost power again.
Waste majors open then. This is still working.
Does anybody have questions for Jerry on his report? Moving on. Truck maintenance. Is that Jeremy or Mike? Jerry?
Just gives me
That much.
I guess, I don't know whether I guess we announced at one of the special meetings that the chief's vehicle that was damaged has been totaled.
So we waited for months to get it into the shop. As soon as we got it into the shop,
They destroyed it.
they destroyed it.
Think of picking it up tomorrow.
They didn't leave a single thing attached to that vehicle.
Can't hear you, Matt,
They didn't leave a single thing attached to that vehicle.
and I can hear a thing back here because of the extra noise, so you need to speak up.
Frame only, huh? Well, they are taking, who's taking the lights and all that out? Are they taking them all out?
It goes to the salvage company.
So the thing we get to keep is the radios and scan it.
But
That's all you
it
get?
was covered for that.
Oh, okay.
It's covered, because when we do the apparatus, we cover it for the vehicle and the equipment. So it's not gonna cover everything to replace it, because the prices have gone up, but we can't strip it, because they're gonna sell some of that to try to get their money.
Oh.
Gary had plugging out of there.
Ain't much left of it.
No.
Man, I were crawling around it.
Okay, building maintenance. I think we already do that, I think. Old business, under policy review, I think this is the month that the district would do their membership annual review. But the department is conducting that review, so we'll give that first to the department. New business. I am presently a director with the State Fire Districts Association for Region 3. And in order to continue in that position, I need a letter of nomination and endorsement from my home fire district.
Make the motion.
Randy makes the motion, Mike Malone seconds the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have the communication from the fire department concerning the bylaws amendment vote on October 6, 2022. Is there, entertain a motion to approve that bylaws amendment? Jerry makes the motion. Mike Malone seconds the motion. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. That's. We need to appoint an election board for the December 13th annual election, district election. Amy, you have some names there?
I reached out to Lynn Tanner, Terry Massaro.
I can't hear you.
I reached out to Lynn Tanner, Terry Massaro, Linda Williamson, and Dorothy Dwyer, and they're all able to help us out with that. And then we'll have Dave Speech as an alternate in case somebody's not able to make it. We also need to approve them as well as the stipend. I believe it's $70 as well as what? The stipend, it's $70 for them.
Yes, okay. So, I would make the motion to approve those 5 people, is it 5 or 4?
It's $5.
To serve as the election board for the 2023 annual fire district elections to take place on December 13th and pay them a stipend of $70. So I made the motion. Mike Chair seconds the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Then I would make note that the district annual election is on December 13th. And those who want to run for commissioner must declare must file their letter with the fire district secretary by November 23rd. And they must declare the seat that they are seat.
At what time? November 23rd, at what time is that?
Close of business.
Which is what?
5 o'clock.
Now, is there only one seat open?
Yes.
Okay.
So we don't need a motion, that's just a.
Is that a partial or is that a full 5 year?
So for 5 years.
We have a, commissioners who are having difficulty with the November and December meeting dates. So we would propose to change the November meeting date to Tuesday, November 22nd, and the December meeting date to Tuesday, December 20th. So that's just one day later in November and one day later in December. So I would need a motion to change those. Jeremy, Mike Malone. Same time. All in favor?
That's here, right, Ted?
Yeah. Anything else from the board? Public comments? Art?
I would like to take exception with what Jeremy said was the purpose of the social media committee. It was not to create communication continuity between the district and the department. It was meant to create social media postings and further the business of the department and the membership out and in social media. It was not meant to create some sort of kumbaya between the district and the department. It was really meant to work on social media posts. So I would just state that statement.
Mark?
A couple quick questions. Back to your budget. We are now at 1.9 million. What was it the previous year? How much did we increase?
7.7% increase, and it was, 100 and, because you were probably on that call, you
Yeah.
had a hearing.
1,400,000. 1.4 last time?
$136,628.
436. Yeah.
And then the other question we had, I had, is Brian's last name, the new EMS director?
Police.
Police.
It's in your budget, it's FALINC.
Is that unknown line?
Okay. And he's also starting, when was the start date for him? November 1st?
He's contracted.
Oh, he's a contractor. Oh, okay.
He's not a direct employee.
Contractor. Okay. Okay. All right. That's all I have.
Mark?
Where are the guidelines for deciding on who will get special permissions to use the community room? When are those going to come out as to how you'll make decisions for individual groups or people that they decide that they need to go over the number of allotted use of the community room? You create a policy and you brought it forth and indicated it was not a new policy, but you don't have any guidelines for making decisions for that little section that says, others as desired, and as the Board of Fire Commissioners makes decisions? And how are those guidelines, and what are those guidelines for making those decisions for those additional usage? Do we have any guidelines?
Not presently, but we can.
Discretion of the board, but it seems like that can be just based on the whim of who's ever on the board and who's out of favor with the board at this point in time.
Kind of looks discriminatory, but
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Very much discriminatory and retaliatory.
We'll call it the bargain shell.
Okay, we will be moving to executive session to discuss the resume and employment history of an individual which may lead to his or her employment. Jeremy makes a motion to move to executive session for that. Make sure seconds the motion. In favor?